What's going on, RCA Manufacturing students? Welcome to Mr. Smitty's 3D modeling video tutorials. Today I'm going to be kind of reviewing the installation process of Google SketchUp for Schools that we went through before Thanksgiving break. And then I'm going to walk through some of the basic tools just as a refresher, because when we come back from Thanksgiving break, it'll have been a week before y'all looked at any of this. So I want to do a quick refresher video, and those of y'all that didn't get it installed on time, this way you can catch up. When we come back on Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be working on creating our own 3D Lego block, a 4x2 Lego block. Yep, that's where we're headed. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I actually want to review the installation process. So if you go back to week 12, on November 16th and 17th, we spent a little bit of time installing Google SketchUp for Schools to set us up for when we came back after the break. All right, so what you had to do is you had to go into the Microsoft Store, and once the Microsoft Store is pulled up, you'll have a tab here that says Rockdale County Public Schools. All right, just like in this image that I have on It's Learning, right here, it says Rockdale County Public Schools. All right, once you've clicked on that, you should see the app called SketchUp for Schools, and you will install it. After installation, if you get a message that says this app requires an internet connection and looks like we are having trouble connecting right now, then you must restart your computer, sign into your Microsoft account, and relaunch. All right. As long as you take those steps, it should work. There's been like 2 people total that did not work for. If for some reason it's still not working, I do ask that you go online and go to Google SketchUp for Schools, SketchUp for Schools online. All right, and you will find the first link. All right, then click Get Started, click that you're a student, and click Launch, and it will open this up online. All you have to do is sign in your Microsoft account here. So everything is the same between the online and the app version. The app's just going to run a little better because it's local on your computer, and when you save things, it will stay there. So our plan going forward is later that week, or actually that same day on the 16th and 17th, I introduced y'all to basic shapes. So we drew a rectangle, rectangular prism, cylinder, and we did a couple cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and review that in this video. If you go ahead and look at the lesson plan for the week 14, which is November 30th, you will see that we will be working on creating our own Lego block. And after we go through the tutorial during class, I will post another video of the steps to do that in case you have some trouble. All right, so quickly, I did want to review how to do basic shapes. So whenever we're in Google SketchUp, over here on the left is our bar where all our saved files is going to be. So because we signed in with Microsoft, I can click on my OneDrive account, and here are all my files for my OneDrive. Right here, I have day 1 basic shapes that we did on the 17th and 18th, or 16th, 17th, and 18th. All right. What I'm going to do for this video, though, is I'm going to start modeling. Once you click Start Modeling, it's going to open up the workspace for Google SketchUp for Schools. This little person in the middle is Temple Grandin. She's actually a famous engineer that has created different inventions for livestock. So you could Google and read her story. It's pretty awesome. But she's just here as a frame of reference. She is 6 feet tall, so that way we know that if we draw something and we make it 3D, that is 6 feet tall. All right, so that's the purpose. But for us, we don't really need her. So I always just click on her, highlight her in blue, and click Delete. All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is just review everything I went over in class. So we have 3 axes here. The red axis is our x-axis. The green axis is our y-axis, and the blue here is the z-axis. The blue is what gives us our frame of reference for 3D. The x and y are for 2D. So if I were to draw a rectangle, I can click on the rectangle, and I draw it on the red and green line because those are our 2D references. Then I pull up and make it 3D on the blue line because that is our z-axis, which is our 3D reference. All right. So let's take a minute. We've got two different toolbars. Over here on the left, we've got this toolbar that we'll use for 2D and 3D drawing and also like zooming and moving around on our workspace. Over here on the right, we have all the appearance and kind of final touches tools. So we will talk about these later as we get into like doing more complex modeling. So on the left, the first tool we have here is the select tool. It allows us to select things. Then we have our eraser, we have our paint bucket, which is going to let us paint. All right, we have the line tool, the pencil is the line tool, the squiggly is the freehand tool. These allow us to actually draw lines, or I can actually grab the freehand and just freehand a line. Then we have our plane tools. We'll come back to those when we get into 3D. These are our shapes tools. These are important. These are what we're going to do all our base drawings, our 2D sketches in. The push-pull tool and the follow me and the offset tool is the next three. So if you click on a tool, it'll open a menu with a couple of them usually, if it has the little arrow. Push-pull is for 3D. Follow me is for doing revolutions, so like spheres, different things that you want to revolve. And then offset is for creating offsets, which I will demonstrate in a different video. We have the joins, vector tools. This is another important one. This is the move, rotate, and scale. So this is how you move an object, this is how you rotate an object, and this is how you scale it up or down. All right, then we have our measuring tools, we have our walk, and finally, this is going to be another important one we're using right now. This is orbit. It allows us to orbit our drawing and actually rotate it. The hand allows you to grab and move your drawing. This is called the pan. The magnifying glass is the zoom in and out. You click and go up or down. This one is a zoom window, so you can draw a box and it'll zoom in on it. And this is zoom extents. Alright, so I'm going to show you today just the basic shapes, and then with each video I'll show you a few more tools and how they're used. So I'm just going to start by drawing a rectangle. So if I go up here, or go over here and click on the rectangle, and I click on the origin, I can draw a rectangle. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and undo that. If I click the control key, alright, on my keyboard, it will switch it so that I'm drawing from the center. Alright, so instead of drawing from a corner, I'm now drawing from the center of the rectangle. Alright, I'm going to undo that. So again, I click control again, now I'm back to drawing from the corner. All right, very important, because sometimes you might want a perfectly centered square. So now that I've drawn my square, to make it 3D, I go grab the push-pull tool over here on the left. So push-pull. And then I click on the square of the rectangle, and I add 3D by moving it up on the blue axis, which is our Z-axis. All right, and that's it, guys. I just made a 3D cube, and you can kind of tell like this would be like the beginning point for a house pretty easily. Alright, so what I can actually do now is let's say I do want to pursue doing a house. I'll go grab my rectangle tool again, I'll press control on my keyboard so that I'm drawing this from the center. And let me just draw. Alright, so I drew this rectangle on top of my rectangle. So I can grab that push-pull tool again, and now I can pull this down, but I don't want to pull it all the way down. I just want to pull it, you know, almost to the bottom. That way I have flooring. Alright, so now I've got like an empty box. Then I could take my rectangle tool again, and let's say that I wanted a couple windows over here on the side. So I'm just going to line these up. There we go. So if you're very careful, you can actually get those little green guidelines to appear, which will allow me to line them up. Alright, so I'm going to take the push-pull again, and I'm going to show you how to do a cut. So basically what we do is we push it into the object until we get to where it says on face or on edge or midpoint. So if I push it in and I'm able to come over here and figure out where it says midpoint, alright, or on face. So let me show you that. a little bit slower. So I grabbed this and I pushed it in until it says on face, and then I let go, it'll cut it. Again, I push it in until it says on face, and it cut them. So I have little holes now for a window. And I could go and do this with a door too. Let me add a door. So if I grab the rectangle tool, I could maybe add a door over here. The only issue is it's going to hit our floor, so we got to be a little more careful when we're doing this. Alright, so should have done it. Nope. But I can just take my eraser now. I should be able to... let me undo. I just didn't get a good click there. Push, pull, push in. Oh, I'm having a hard time with this. It's because of the floor. Alright, let me do this. So I'm going to draw it above the flooring. Again, guys, this is because I don't have anything measured out. Like, I'm just making this up as I go. Alright, so let me push this in. This should avoid the floor, hopefully. Alright, it gave me the on edge. It's still not working. Sometimes that's modeling though. Okay, I got it now. Alright, so now we have this door that's on top of our floor. Alright, so you can just do this. You can do this with any of the shapes. I'm just going to quickly show you a circle before I finish up this video. But I could draw a circle. I can grab the push-pull tool on the left. I can pull it up and make a little silo or something. Again, I could, draw it on the top. I can take it and push it all the way till it says endpoint. And now I've cut a hole through it. Just like that. Alright, so remember I told you these ones on the right are for finishing and painting and stuff. So if you click on the fourth tool down, it's like a little cube. And then you go to this search thing over here. It'll actually pull up all your materials. So let's say that I want, I don't know, that I want to make a glass house. I can actually click on the glass texture and add glass texture to my entire house. Like so. So now I have a glass house. Maybe the inner walls, I want them to be like a brick. Alright, so I have a... this will never work in the real world, but I have a glass house with a brick inside. But that's how you can use these different appearances. Alright, so guys, that's just a little bit about the installation and the basic shapes and appearances. Again, after the break, we're going to move into actually creating something real. So we're going to make a Lego block and we will 3D print those. So thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to getting started with y'all.